What is going on, guys? It's Dan back with another Wolfpack review. We beat Leicester 3-0 today, and Wolves looked absolutely incredible. I don't think I've seen a more perfect, complete performance from Wolves in a very, very, very long time. Even if we've won under Vtor, there's always been a little bit in my head where it looks as though something isn't quite right. And that's more of like a nitpick than it is something that I've been concerned about. I have literally no nitpicks in this entire review. This is a 10 out of 10 performance from Wolves today. Yes, we're against a already relegated Leicester side. Yes, we're against a side that, let's be honest, are very poor. And, you know, with a manager that is extremely poor, to be honest, probably one of the worst managers in the Premier League at the moment, and up against one of the best in Vtor Pereira. Listen, this was an absolute show today. And if our owners are watching, they need to be supporting everything that this manager is producing. I understand that Thankyou wants to leave. So letting him leave, you know, is absolutely okay by me. But you can't let everybody else go as well. And in my own honest opinion, and I think this opinion shared across, Thankyou going to Man United, for us, it's a bad thing because Thankyou was incredible today. For United, it's a good thing because he's a really good player. But for Thankyou, can you honestly say, even as a United fan, this is a smart move from Thankyou? I honestly don't think it is. I really don't. I see a team with United at the moment that are completely out of sorts, and they are going to need a lot of things to happen in this window. They have already spent a lot of their money on this upcoming stadium. There is going to be not as much money as they think they're going to have. And the players that they are actually able to get rid of aren't going to get anywhere near as much money as what they're thinking. So Thankyou going to United, honestly, is genuinely the wrong move for him. Maybe years back when United were, you know, under Alex Ferguson, that's honestly how far you have to go back to be in a team of that stature. Then you've got to go that far back. And was Thankyou even playing professional football then? Probably bloody not. So I really don't get it. And that's all I'm going to say on it. That's all I'm going to say on it. All right. Let's get into this football match. Because with or without Thankyou, this team under Vtor Pereira are exceptional. I am not even in a mood today to do this review to be completely, absolutely buzzing off my tits. I am doing this review to tell you guys that we have struck gold, and we need to make sure this is maintained further going forward. 6 wins in a row in a Premier League. Even in the Championship, that is incredible. In the Premier League, the very top division of English football, Vtor Pereira comes in and Wolves are 19th in the league. We now stand 13th in the league, with the likes of United and Spurs both underneath us now. We have leapfrogged West Ham, Everton. The amount of teams that we have actually leapfrogged in this run makes me honestly think, if you give this guy the money that he deserves after this season, give him a contract, give him the money he deserves, and Wolves will be where Villa are right now. Where Villa are right now, what is different? Where have Villa come from? They got a manager in Unai Emery who gave them a system, right? And they sold players that were worth a lot of money as assets and spent well. If Wolves followed suit, what is stopping Wolves from being where Villa are right now? I tell you who. And I say who. FOSUN and Jeff Shee have a bit to prove now. The ball is so much in their court now. They can't let this manager and this team and these fans and everything that this guy has built from the shittest foundation possible. They can't let him down. They have to give him everything. The things that this manager has done for this football club are going to go down in legend. He has done the absolute unthinkable. He has brought into a team, into an ethos, things that I didn't even think were possible. Gary O'Neill left this team and said to everybody, this team ain't worth it. This team isn't they're not in the Premier League. They're not Premier League footballers. They've not got the mentality. I hope you're sitting at home, Gary O'Neill, with your 7 cups of teas, right? And I hope you're thinking, that was a really bad decision to say the things that I said. You should have stepped down, and FOSUN should have put this manager in charge a long time ago. We, today, were against a relegation rival. It looked like the men against boys. It looked like we were like a Champions League level team, and they were maybe, I wouldn't even say Division 1. I'd say like a Division 2 side. It was that good today from Wolves. I've never done an intro this long, but this, for me, is the best I've ever seen Wolves for 90 minutes on a football pitch. 10 out of 10. To already be safe, and then to go into this match, and then to actually not just win the match, dominate the match in possession, dominate the match in attack, absolutely be ruthless in defence, consistently press. Everything that Vtor has put into this team is nothing short than extraordinary. Seriously. If FOSUN just flip that switch now and give us all the money and let us cook with this manager, we will be looking at Europe next season. If everything stays the way it is. If players stay. Ait Nouri has to stay. João Gomez and Andre have to stay. Strand Larsen has to stay. Semedo, give him a new contract. You ain't getting a better player than him in that position at the moment. You just ain't. Sarabia, one of the best in the Premier League for coming off the bench and actually giving a fuck. How many times do you watch a football match and you watch a player come off the bench walking around because he isn't on the team sheet? He knows what's asked from him. He knows. Every single player on that bench today cannot say that this manager isn't giving them the time, isn't giving them a little bit of, right, go and prove it to me. Forbes played today. The only player that I thought probably should have got minutes is Hwang Hee-chan, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I don't. Next game, maybe. Give him a little opportunity. Bellegarde. Name a player on that bench today that Vtor Pereira isn't looking at over his shoulder and saying, look, you're still in this. There is more than 11 players in this team right now. And I don't remember having a manager with a team that connected. You say Nuno, yeah, in the Championship, in the first couple of seasons in the Premier League. But he got found out for being one-sided, for just doing one thing in football. And this guy has so many tactical options in his brain. He is so tactically switched on, it's insane. I would actually be wanting to tie this manager down now. Because if he keeps winning football matches, we might be looking at losing him. We're all talking about Cunha. We could lose Vtor Pereira. We did a live recently, and I said if he wins every football match, Wolves could be 8th if all the other teams fail like they did today. He would have to go then, because everybody would be looking at him. Look how awful some of the managers have been in these so-called top 6 sides. And he would be absolutely within his right mind to leave Wolves if FOSUN don't give him a contract now. Do it now. Give him the contract now. Give Semedo an extension now. Best captain Wolves have had since Neves. Doesn't kick up a fuss. Doesn't piss around. Doesn't get into trouble. Does his thing and keeps in the football match. This is a 12-minute intro, but it needs to be said today. Because as absolutely buzzing as I am, guys, to have 6 wins, I am concerned slightly. I'm looking over my shoulder and thinking, there's a lot here that is going right, but it has to stay and remain. Because it's all right doing all these things if our owners are going to help us carry on and have some ambition, change everything that happened last season. We froze tickets today. We froze tickets. I'm seeing a lot of positiveness. And if you're going to do that, I will be the first person to say, Jeff Shee and FOSUN, thank you. But it has to continue. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Do us a big favour. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos, guys. Let's get into this football match because 13 minutes in and we have not even spoke about the football match. But you know what? We needed to talk about that today because that was incredible. Incredible. Let's go. So, Wolves win 3-0. Cunha scores, Strand Larsen scores, Rodrigo Gomez scores. Okay. Now, what happened in this football match? Why was Wolves so good? Why? Can I tell you how? Because when things didn't go well, we didn't stop. We just kept going. And I said in the chat to the lads, 33 minutes before Cunha scored, we're going to score in this football match. Because we just consistently pressed. 65% possession. We have never had a Wolves team that has possession that turns that possession into goals and wins. We've never had that. We've always been a counter-attacking side that plays a back 5 and presses on the counter. With the ball at our feet, we've always been poor. And again, a lot of people will say it's against Leicester. But you watch this City game that's coming up. And then we'll talk. Because I've seen this consistently now. Vtor Pereira has us keeping the ball. And he doesn't allow us to waste the ball. He gets us to pass it around the defence. We are patient. We're not just kicking it forward and hoping for the best. We're patient. We know we've got good players that can keep the ball for us. We know we've got a good back line now. So a lot of the midfield will move forward. And when we're attacking, guys, 4, 5, even 6 players are running towards Leicester's goal. That is insanity. But then you back it up with defence. And that's the difference with Vtor Pereira. Not only are we way better at getting forward and more confident when we've got forward, but in defence, with Agbadou, Totti Gomez, the likes of Bueno when he came on, Doherty, there's just there's a surety there. There's a certainty there. The ball goes anywhere near these guys, it ain't a problem. So we just carry on. And then we go into the attacking transition and we do something with it. Wolves in this first half only had 3 shots on target. We had 1 big chance and scored it. That's the difference. Aït-Nouri gets wide, puts the ball in. A lovely bit of interplay between him and Cunha. And Cunha does really well to get into a decent spot. Strand-Larsen and Munetsi's run, though, creates the space. And then Aït-Nouri gets to the byline, puts the ball in. And it's 1-0. And it looked easy. Poetry in motion for Wolves. Because of how good this team is cohesively. Then it goes into half time, but there's so much in this first half to be applauded. So much consistent press from the first minute to the last minute of half time. Consistent press. We've got the players that can do that, and we've got the players that can literally transition from defence to attack really quickly. And it's not just how we've been used to it before under Nuno, where it's we win the ball back and hope for the best. Someone gets forward with pace. It's precisional passing. Stupidly good. Like, our pass percentage in that first half, guys. Our pass percentage in this first half, 90%. 90. 345 passes in one half of football to their 164. That is absolutely incredibly good. That is the difference. The passes aren't going astray anymore. They're finding their target. And it's winning us football matches. Second half of football, let's go. It's a lot more even. But it's because Wolves knew if they carried on doing what they did in the first half, like we did under Gary O'Neill, we'd get knackered, we'd get injuries, and we'd end up shipping goals for fun. This isn't the case under Vtor Pereira. He knows that Leicester are now going to come at us with everything. And it meant that we had to be a little bit more astute and clever with what we were going to do. So we let them have the ball a little bit more. But when we did get the ball, because we've let them have the ball, under the transition, their backline is higher. And it allowed Strand-Larsen to get this second goal. Strand-Larsen gets through the middle. Great ball by Cunha. An incredibly good finish from Strand-Larsen, though. He's still got so much to do getting out wide, but he manages to lash at the ball before he gets too wide for it to become a problem. And it's 2-0 to Wolves. And it's deserved. Leicester, just after that, they get a penalty. This, for me, is ridiculous. Vardy gets free. It's a good run from Vardy, I'm going to be honest. It's a great run, right? Sarr cannot do any more than what he actually does. Because he's going for the ball gets taken away from him and put to his side. So instead of lashing out his gloves, which would be a foul, he stays where he is. And then Vardy kicks him in the bollocks and falls over. And it's a penalty. And VAR checked that. VAR checked that. But, guess what? Vardy's giving up on football soon, I think. Because he's giving up on Leicester. Which is fair enough. He's had an incredible career, so fair play to him. But even on his big day, he can't score a penalty. And I laughed my arse off. Because he's just one of those blokes that gets under your skin, and it's part of his makeup, guys. You've got these players sometimes, and Sarr's just as bad, to be fair. So that was just a great little matchup. Sarr does really well. Great save from Sarr. Goes the right way, but does really well to pad it down to the floor and puts his gloves on it. Because we've seen so many, goalkeepers recently that parry it away into trouble, and then it ends up being a problem. But he was really, really clever with how he padded it down to the ground. So that's a really good save. And then, thankfully, we just carried on. We just carried on throughout the whole game. Some of the passing was incredible. Some of the movement, the defensive effort from Wolves to just not let anything through. Just fighting for that clean sheet. More than I've seen in ages. This team fight all over the pitch. Consistent. If one player is out of position, the other player goes into position. If one player tackles but doesn't make the tackle, the second person will. If one person puts a pass wrong, someone else will go and cover. It is unreal. The amount of teamwork now we have in this squad is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So then, we make a couple of substitutions. We do make a couple of substitutions. And I haven't talked about the lineup because I've been bloody excited, but we'll talk about that in the player scores. The substitutions that are made are genius. Literally genius. Pablo Sarabia comes on. Why? Because we want more goals. We need to get this goal difference to a level where we can get even further up the table. Because that's what Vtor wants. Which I love, by the way. Pablo Sarabia comes on because they started defending. They started actually sitting back because they didn't want to be embarrassed. Pablo Sarabia comes on to unlock that defence, which is why we need to get him to sign a signature again. Rodrigo Gomez comes on, and instantly you see this kid is our future. We'll talk about players in general in a minute, but I'm just talking about the substitutions that are made. Both of those substitutions create the third goal. The third goal does not happen, one, because Rodrigo Gomez scores and he's one who comes on, but it doesn't happen even without the other substitutions. Because Sarabia, beautiful ball into Cunha, and Cunha does really well to be unselfish. Because he's in the window at the moment. He's in that shot window. He should really be keeping scoring goals. But actually, the assist maybe even plays into more of his favour. Because it shows that he's a unselfish player. So if I was a United fan looking at that, I'd be going, bloody hell. He's got everything. He's unselfish. But when he needs to show himself as the guy that's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, he's good at that as well. Incredibly good. And then Cunha finds the run of Rodrigo Gomez, which, by the way, he has no right to run. He has no right to run from the left-back position literally diagonal down the pitch to end up in their box to put that ball in. It's the work rate of these players, and it's what I want to see more of. Guedes has to do better. Comes on, yeah, okay, amazing. But you see the work rate in some of these players, Forbes and him coming on the pitch. I think that was a statement from Vtor Pereira. I think he said, look, you're training like shit and you're making us look bad. Go on that football pitch and prove to me. And the only guys that did it was Rodrigo Gomez and Sarabia. And that's the love. That's the love I've got for this manager. Right at the end of the football match, Sarri's mouthing off because of what happened with the penalty. And he just told him to shut up. He just went, shh. Which is almost like, just be humble about it. Don't be a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? He's just got these players. And when you've got that level of like maturity and the way he can just create such a great atmosphere, we have to give this guy a contract. I want it now. I want the contract now. What are you waiting for? Like, I don't understand. Like, okay, I understand. Maybe there's something in there. You know, I'm not behind the scenes. Perhaps it's soon as the last ball gets kicked in the last football match, that's when his contract will, you know, make its way into our vision, and maybe he's already had giant talks and it's already all set up. But I can't help but wonder, if we keep winning football matches, is his head going to get turned? And that's what I'm worried about. Because if it does, I actually don't know what happens next season. And that's the worry for me as a Wolves fan at the moment. That's why this review isn't me just going, oh my God, ah! Because you have to think of all the great things that are happening, but they need to be consistently here next season. That's the goal now. Keep what we've got because it's gold. Keep it. Right. Rodrigo Gomez scores that last goal and literally just ties up the game. And it was already game over from 1-0, to be honest, because Leicester were hopeless. Let's talk about player scores and how we lined up. So, Wolves lined up with Jose Sarr in goal, Doherty, Agbadou, and Totti Gomez as a back three, with Semedo and Ait-Nouri out wide, João Gomez and Andre in the middle, with Munetsi and Cunha operating as 10 hybrids, with Strand Larsen as our number 9. And as you can see, for the first time in all of my reviews, every single player under FOTMob has good scores. Every single one of them. But you know what? They should be better. They should all be 8 at least. I look at every one of that squad there. Which one doesn't deserve 8? At least. Some of them deserve 9. One of them deserves 10. Potentially, maybe even a couple of them deserve 10. Let's go through it. Sarr saves the penalty, right? Does really well with his feet. The whole game, this guy has done the one thing that we've been criticising him for. His footwork. He does incredibly good in this one. There's one time where Agbadou controls the ball down and passes it to Sarr, and it's really awkward, to be fair. He chests it, brings it down with his feet, and then releases it, and it's like there's no worries there whatsoever. Unbelievable. Saves a penalty. For me, that's a 9. That's a 9. He gets a clean sheet, saves a penalty. What? How is that not a 9? Doherty, 8. Because he's an unsung hero. He does everything right. And for the age he's got now, and for the levels he's achieving, he deserves a lot. He really does. massive props to him. Agbadu, 10. 10. Best defender in the league, and it ain't even close. Name one better. You can't. Nothing gets past him. Did anything actually get past him today? Genuinely. Did anything actually get past this guy? No. He lost one duel. And it was an aerial duel. He won 3 of his ground duels. And was not dribbled past once. As a centre-back. In the centre of the football pitch. 10 performance. Incredible. Honestly, one of the best signings that Wolves have made since Neves. Seriously. Totti Gomez, 9. In fact, you know what? No, 10. Some of the times Totti Gomez got forward today, and the footwork that he did, and the amount of effort that he did to keep the ball, 10. João Gomez, 9. And Andre, 9 as well. Both of them, unreal. The only reason they don't get 10s is because I think sometimes they were a little bit like, you know, at some... When I say 10, I mean a perfect performance. And they weren't perfect, but they were exceptionally good. 8 Nori, 10. What did he do wrong? He gets an assist. He could have scored. His positioning so much better under Vtor Pereira. He defends so much better. I actually don't want to lose him at all. I think I'd rather Cunha leave than Nori. Because I just don't think you replace him. How do you replace him? You don't. Cunha, 10. Am I going to... What? You think I'm going to be like, oh, Arcee because he's leaving? No. He's exceptional. United have a great player on their hands. He's a 10. He gets 2 assists and a goal. Unreal performance. And he doesn't even have to try. That's the annoying thing about Cunha. He has this thing where everyone's saying, well, he walks, and he does this, that. He doesn't have to try. When you're that good, you don't even have to try. You don't have to get out of second gear. World-class performance. Munetsi. I'm going to give him an 8. Because he runs his bloody socks off. And without him, the press doesn't work. Semedo. One of his best performances in a Wolves shirt. I'm going to give him a 9. He still looks a bit leggy. But the what he's able to achieve, he deserves a signature as well. He really does. He knows what this club's about. And I genuinely think he loves it here as well. I don't actually think he'd want to leave, you know. And there's not many players in our squad for a while who I've thought actually want to be here. But I think he wants to be here. And I think he's a big character in the dressing room as well. I think he's a big character in the dressing room. I think he's a good voice for the club. Do you know what I mean? He never gets in trouble. And then, last but not least, Strand Larsen, who I thought towards the start and the first half, I thought he was a bit poor, to be honest. But in that second half, he did everything right. So I'm going to give him an 8. Because he gets a goal, which is a great goal, and he runs really well. But the ball needs to hold the ball up a little bit better for me sometimes. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 performance, guys. It really is. It's the first of the season, but it has to be said. It has to be 10. Like, how do you not? If anyone's saying that isn't a 10 out of 10 performance, what more can you do as a football club? You score 3 goals. You consistently press the whole game. You don't let a single goal happen. When a penalty happens, your goalkeeper saves it. When there's defensive mistakes, people are helping out. The midfield is exceptional. 2 of the best midfielders in the league by far. This is, without doubt, a perfect performance. Perfect. It don't get better. The only way this gets better is by scoring more goals. And we could have done. I just thought after the third one, the way we just carried on hunting for more is not like Wolves. But under Vtor Pereira, it is. And it's what we expect now. And for you guys that are they're gonna see him today and have a pint with him, right? Tell him you deserve everything you're getting, mate. You deserve everything. And you deserve a new contract. Because you have saved this football club. You've saved it. Look at Leicester. Were we much different from Leicester under Gary O'Neill? Were we? Do we win these matches under Gary O'Neill? You have not just saved us this season, Vtor. You have saved this football club from the worst position we could have been in under FOSUN. And I genuinely think he has forced FOSUN's hand to do all of the positive things that we're seeing. I do. So, guys, if you enjoyed that video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button so you don't miss future videos, guys. And let's just keep this going now. Let's see how many wins we can do. We're going to Man City now, and Man City have got to be thinking, we've got to be on our A game today because Wolves are coming to town and they ain't going to mess about. We ain't going to let you have the ball much. And when you've got the ball, you best bloody hope that Munetsi ain't running at you. You best hope when you do get forward, you know, Haaland, you've got Agbadu and Totti in front of you, which I honestly, genuinely would scare the living shit out of me as a football player. Because they are just mountains. They are genuinely mountains. So, yeah, I mean, we haven't looked at the table, guys. What am I doing? We have to look at the table because this is unbelievable. Wolves are now 13th in the league. 6 wins in a row have put Wolves 41 points with a goal difference of only now -10. Look at the state of Manchester United. Look at the state of Tottenham. Look at the state of West Ham. Everyone was crying for Graham Potter. Who's crying now? Everyone was crying for, you know, oh my God, Tottenham, they're playing a really high line. They're looking really good under Ange. Are they? Oh my God, Man United, finally we've got Amnarim. You know, finally we've got, you know, a manager that's going to do well for us. And, you know, he's been backed and he's got all these players playing. Do you? Double on you lot. Double. Sorry. Oh my God, Everton, they look revitalised under Moyes. Why didn't Wolves go for Moyes? They lost today. They've lost twice in a row now. Guys, we need to keep this up now. We need to keep this up because Wolves have never, ever in a Premier League season left a Premier League season with positivity to a level of this. If we ended the season and we carried on winning and we kept the players we've got and we spent the money right, Wolves will make Europe next season. But all of those things have to align. It's up to you now, FOSUN. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We've just got our X back, which is absolutely amazing. So we've got our X back now. We can actually use our X for things as well. So follow us on all our social medias at Wolfpack WWFC. And until then, guys, I'll see you on the next one in a bit.